Winston, I knew this was going to be challenging. Welcome back to the urban farmyard where the city girl goes country. Today we're filming with our least compliant cat, Winston the Giant, and we're taking a look at his indolent ulcer. Let's go take a look. Hi guys, well this gorgeous creature does not want to spend time being held on camera, so we're going to let him go and do cat things. The reason why I brought Winston on camera today is this little guy has got what's called an indolent ulcer, which is something that commonly occurs in cats. This is something that has been recurring in Winston since he was a wee kitten, and when I first saw it I absolutely panicked. What it is a lesion on his top lip, and when I first saw it when he was a kitten I panicked and wondered if maybe he had been playing with a candle, wondered if he had burnt himself, and I really wasn't sure what to do. Fortunately it wasn't a burn, it's actually something that's very easy to treat. The word indolent means painless, so what he's essentially got is a painless ulcer on his top lip. These ulcers were originally called rodent ulcers, although they don't actually have anything to do with rodents, so I'm not entirely sure how they got that name. These ulcers tend to occur as a result of a sensitivity to something in the environment. It could be a sensitivity to flea bites, it could be an allergy to dust, it could be a mild food intolerance, it could be caused by any number of things. So the way that it's treated is twofold. The first thing we tend to treat with an indolent ulcer is the superficial ulcer itself, and that's done in two ways. What we do is we give Winston a long-acting steroid, and we also give him antibiotics to clear up the infection. Now this is something that was a little bit challenging with Winston because he first got an ulcer when he was very young, and when cats are under the age of 1 it's not a great idea to start them on steroids. So what we had to do was wait until Winston was a year old before we started treating him. That meant that his ulcer became quite big before he was old enough to start the steroid treatment process. What we then do is work through the process of treating whatever it was that caused the sensitivity in the first place, and this is something that's been a little bit challenging with Winston. We're not 100% sure what's causing it. This is the third time he's had an indolent ulcer, so he's definitely sensitive to something in the environment, but we haven't quite figured out what that might be. And the key to preventing recurrence, rather than simply treating the symptoms, is to figure out what that sensitivity is and get on top of it. So what we're going to do with Winston this time around is we're going to work through a process with a natural health practitioner. The first thing we're going to do is make sure his flea and worm treatment are kept 100% up to date, even if he's not showing any signs of having either fleas or worms. I don't tend to medicate my guys for fleas and worms consistently every month. I tend to just keep an eye on them, and I medicate them on an as-needed basis. With Winston, we're going to have to stop doing that and get him onto a really regular routine. That's going to give us an indication of whether perhaps his sensitivity is to something simple like a flea bite. If that doesn't work, we're then going to work through the process of figuring out whether maybe it's an intolerance to something else, which could be something simple like the grain in the food that he's eating. Overall though, this isn't something that's doing him any real harm. It's an unsightly but superficial problem which we will get on top of really quickly, and fortunately it's not causing him any pain or discomfort in the interim. So if you have a cat that's got a flare up that you think might be a burn somewhere around their lip, it's quite possible that you too have an indolent ulcer. Make a trip to your vet and they'll be able to give you a proper diagnosis. I hope today's been helpful, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.